We're in the middle of coronal mass emissions. Carol, you know this, right? Everybody knows this.
Yes.
It's this big sunspot activity that shot off this huge coronal mass ejection.
Sounds dirty.
It does kind of sound dirty, but in the purest, most scientific way. I want a coronal mass ejection too, please. You know, everyone should have a coronal mass ejection every day. Coronal mass ejections, I think that's the term, I may be getting it a little wrong, are amazing. And there was one decades ago that was huge and really disrupted things before we had reliance on computers or everything. I mean, do you really, you know, this is a big one. But it's sort of like how a 5.0 earthquake is a big one, Carol, right? And then you get the once every 100 years earthquakes that tell you, oh yeah, no, that was a big one. What happens when we get a really big one? How quickly before the veneer of our electronic civilization, you know, just fades away completely. I'm not looking forward to it, don't get me wrong. This is not Glee, Carol. This is sardonic humor. There's a difference between sardonic humor and Glee. But, man, I don't trust you monkeys to hold it together when the electricity goes out. Oh, no way, even 20 years ago they had trouble. Now? Are you kidding me? When all electronic devices start going, you know, just they're totally buggered, you know, what are you gonna do then? I know, I'll be friendly to my fellow man, my fellow human, sorry, Carol. But it's really cool. And one of the coolest things, probably the coolest thing that's happening right now is that as these particles, charged particles, enter our atmosphere, they're making the aurora borealis go ape, well, I can't say that. What can I say, bonkers? Bonkers crazy in a good way, right? I mean, there's bonkers crazy in a bad way, but the aurora borealis up in Norway and places like that is going bonkers crazy over the last couple of days, and it's huge blue and green and showers of light and shifting. You can't even, I've got to go see it once before I die, Carol.
It's awesome.
You've seen it?
Yes, I've seen it in Alaska.
When did you see the aurora borealis and not tell me?
When I lived in
When she lived
Alaska.
in Alaska, duh.
And in Iceland.
And you were in Iceland?
Yeah.
When did you live in Iceland?
I didn't live there, I just visited.
Oh, you visited Iceland. Okay, so Carol can vouch personally for the aurora borealis. Oh man, anyway, all I can do is send you to my Twitter page where I've linked to a photographer in Norway's site. And the astronomy picture of the day yesterday, you know about APOD, right? Astronomy picture of the day, Carol? Just Google astronomy picture of the day. No, search. I should stop saying Google. Search for astronomy picture of the day. It's amazing what's happening with the northern lights, the aurora borealis right now. Seriously, amazing. Yesterday's astronomy picture of the day linked to this site of this Norwegian photographer who's been photographing the northern lights for years. Don't just look at the thumbnails. Click on the thumbnails and expand them because they are truly, truly amazing and humbling in a very deep way. All right. Speaking of not talking about Google, excuse me. Well, I guess I should mention something about Romney's taxes. I can't talk much about taxes because I'm in trouble with the tax people, Carol, because I forgot to file for just, you know, a couple of years. And I was an idiot, and they were sending this stuff to my old address, and I never got. Now I'm in deep trouble. But it turns out that I didn't owe anything because all that money was getting, you know, I don't make enough to owe taxes. And so the years I didn't file federally, I left a refund on the table, you know? That's what I kind of thought I was doing. But anyway, the point is I'm in no position to be highly critical of anyone's tax situation right now. I'm in the middle of a mess. But, I mean, how stupid am I, Carol, to leave refunds on the table?
Yeah.
More than once. Well, that's the problem, because once you do it a couple of times, you're like, maybe I should never file again because then they'll realize that I was just so stupid. This is what I was talking about a week or two ago when I was talking about you know, ignoring problems and they don't seem to go away. Why is that? Anyway, but here's the key thing that you got to remember about Romney's taxes, because this is going to be, you know, spun in all kinds of different political directions. And so I'm going to give you the skinny. Is that weightest? I'm going to give you the skinny. I'm going to give you the skinny right now on the key point and how we can use the Romney tax situation to change things. the percentage of his taxes on this income that he gets for doing nothing, past investments, we worked very hard for those, I'm sure. But the income that he gets for doing nothing is taxed at a much lower rate than the income you and I get for working our asses off. So he pays a much lower percentage than you or I pay. Why? This is a newish development. This is the key. This isn't something that goes all the way back, in the history, ancient mists of US history, which makes Europeans laugh. But anyway, this started happening in the mid-1990s, that percentage that they had to pay of that income on investments and capital gains and all that stuff. It started shrinking only in the mid-1990s. And under Bush, throughout the 2000s, it shrunk even more. Gingrich was a key in this. So for Gingrich to be attacking Romney on the tax thing is funny, because it was a deal between Gingrich and Clinton that started this. And that percentage has been shrinking only in the last 10, 20, 15, 20 years. It's new. It's a new shift in the 90s and 2000s that has shrunk that percentage so that Mitt Romney's only paying this. And it can be undone, and should. Those steps that have shrunk the amount of tax on the exceedingly wealthy have only happened, in this case, in the last 15 or 20 years. They need to be undone, to re-fairize things. And that's a new word, Carol. To re-fairize things. Okay, write it down. You can Google it. I'm going to make the Wikipedia page as soon as I get home. Re-fairize. 30 seconds? Keep that in mind. Oh, yeah. Pruning Shears is a really sharp, edgy blog with good links regularly. If you're at all interested in your conservative, in how a lefty thinks, who's not an idiot, like the lefties you see on Fox News, check out that blog if you dare. All right, take care of each other. North American Video's opening up their new location, Lead Mine Road and Strickland. New location video store.